AITA for telling my daughter to get over herself? I was blessed with 3 beautiful children, and unfortunately, my eldest, Brooke, passed away when she was 5 years old. It rocked my world, and I know I haven't been the same since. I went through therapy and still attend to this day. But a part of me died too. I will never let my daughter be forgotten. I bring pictures of her to events such as holiday celebrations and birthdays. I talk about her all the time. Every year on my living children's birthdays, I think of her and how her once younger siblings are now older than her. My daughter, Marnie, is getting married next month. I asked her if she was having a memorial table and she said no. I asked her about creating a seat for her sister who passed, as she should be a part of the day. Marnie told me no. For once she wants a day about her. She says she couldn't have one event that wasn't about Brooke. Even her graduation. I had put a picture of her on the seat. She said I needed to stop making my grief front stage. I told her she was being incredibly selfish, and until she goes through a loss like this, she'll never understand. Marnie asked me if her kids would have to live under the shadow of Brooke too. I told her she should be ashamed and to get over herself. My son says I'm being terrible and I need to re-evaluate my life. AITA? My 20-year-old brother killed himself and it consumed my dad. He didn't care about me or anyone else. All he cared about was my brother. It's pretty rough when your parents' favorite kid is their dead one. YTA. I say this with the most love I can muster. But you are the one who needs to get over yourself. YTA. Is your therapist really in agreement that you have a memorial to your deceased daughter at every event? You have children who are alive and well, and if you don't get this under control you will lose them. 2. It's your daughter's day. Let her have a day where it is all about her and not about your grief. I feel so bad for your children. To have to live in the shadow of their deceased sister and never have their mother's absolute love. YTA. As a mother who lost her son when he was 3, I couldn't imagine doing this to my daughter. Sure, I talk about her brother, but not at every event she has would I do what you are doing. Her birthdays are about her, not me or her brother. Your son is right, you are pushing away your living children to hold on to your pain. YTA. I know it's painful to think about. Sounds like grief therapy would help. You are allowed to process however you want. But your children do not have to be burdened by your grief. YTA. You recognize you are driving 2 of your kids away because of this? How long has this been going on? 15 years maybe? Your 2 kids have been competing and losing to their eldest sibling for a long time. You do realize that you've made your living children feel like they don't matter, right? YTA. I cannot imagine your loss. But you've hurt your 2 living children by never allowing them to move on. And in your fear of having Brooke forgotten, you have ensured that they resent her memory. I'm going to be blunt. Because apparently your own children telling you you're terrible is not enough to get through to you. Most bad parents only manage to sow discord between their living children. You've accomplished the rare feat of causing the living to resent the dead. If you do not believe in an afterlife, then it follows that none of what you are doing to remember Brooke is actually for Brooke. It's for you. Stop being selfish. If you do believe in an afterlife, then surely you understand that Brooke doesn't want a table at Marnie's wedding. She wants a place in Marnie's heart. That's not going to happen until you stop turning all of your kids' important life events into a decades-long memorial for Brooke. YTA. YTA. While my heart goes out to you, And I am very sorry you have lost a child. The way you have been dealing with this doesn't really sound healthy. And even if it were healthy, the way it has impacted your surviving kids is obviously messed up. Messed up enough to have them tell you outright. If you can't let go, that's one thing when it's something that is yours. But milestones your kids reached aren't yours. It's not your place to bring grief to each and every occasion. Also, if Brooke was your oldest and passed away at 5, you've been basically forcing a stranger on your 2 younger kids. I really don't want to know what that has done in regards to their development. Also, I'm really doubting your therapist. Either you're lying about what you're doing when you're in session, or this therapist has the wrong job. YTA. Your daughter is telling you her feelings. And it sounds like you have, as she said, made your grief center stage in every event. Since your eldest passed at 5, I'm assuming your other kids barely remember her, if at all. And yet you've made every event in your life about her. I'm so sorry for your loss, and I understand the grief will never leave you. But don't let it do further damage to the relationship you have with your living children. YTA. Losing a child at such a young age is truly a tragedy. However, you need to listen to your daughter here. She is telling you that you have treated your living children as less important than your dead one. You've let their lives go by as you've refused to get over your grief. My brother-in-law also had a brother that died at 5 years old. Yes, his parents grieved his death. However, they did not carry his picture around everywhere they went, and they did not let it dominate every moment of their lives. They did not have a memorial table at my sister's wedding. Your son is right. You need to re-evaluate your life. Specifically, you need to concentrate on life instead of death. Otherwise, you are going to lose your living children as well. Go back as reread your post. You are so close to driving away your living kids because your grief is more important to you than they are. YTA. They have lived in the shadow of their dead sis their whole lives. I am sorry for your loss, but this is her day. It should be about her. YTA. You've transformed every possible happy moment in your children's lives a sad one. Obviously, you are never going to forget your daughter. But your children should be celebrated too. I'm sorry for your loss, but YTA here. You said Brooke was your eldest and 5 when she passed. Which means that Marnie probably barely remembers her sister side from you honoring her at special events. I think it's wonderful that you want to do that to honor your daughter. But you don't get to dictate that for Marnie on her wedding day. I told her she was being incredibly selfish, and until she goes through a loss like this, she'll never understand. YTA. She lost her sister and has spent the last 26 years living in the shadow of a ghost, whether or not she wants to have a memorial table or save a seat for her deceased sister at her wedding is up to her. Her wedding is about her, not you, and not Brooke. By putting your dead daughter front and center, you're killing your relationship with your living children. My sincere condolences, but YTA. Take this as a wake-up call and try and rebuild before you lose them all. I'm sorry, but YTA. You can honor your daughter any way you like, but you can't force others to do the same. If Marnie doesn't want to mention Brooke at her wedding, that's something you need to respect. YTA. You're so trapped by one child's death that you are not letting your other children live. Do want to have no children left at all? Keep this up and soon you'll be dead to them. YTA. Everyone grieves in their own way, but you've let this become the defining trait of your life. I'm honestly surprised that either of your children speak to you. They've lived in the shadow of a dead 5-year-old their entire lives. Let Brooke go. For heaven's sake. I lost my only child when he was 19. 12 years ago. It damn near killed me. I always try to keep his memory alive. So I totally understand where you're coming from. But it seems you've placed her on a pedestal above your other children. They probably hardly remember her as they were so young. It is not fair to place your grieving on them or expect them to feel the same way. And eventually, we all have to move forward or you will never be happy. You never have to let go. But you have to step back and realize that life goes on. Very gently, YTA. YTA. This is your daughter Marnie's wedding. Not yours. I am very, truly sorry for your loss because that is a terrible thing to go through as a parent. But Marnie is the one to be celebrated this day, and if she wants to celebrate without a memorial table, she has her reasons. Honestly, I really see her point. Imagine if every happy event in your young adult life was overshadowed by a reminder of death. This is a wedding. And having a whole table to Brooke changes the mood. Again, I'm really sorry for your loss. But this isn't your decision one way or the other anyway, and guilt-tripping Marnie is very unfair.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.